All right, welcome back to A Simple Truth. So last time we looked at Genesis 1 through 3. So walking all the way from Genesis to Revelation, we started with the creation story. We took a look at a little bit about what that looked like and what God's process was in that. We also saw the fall of man. So today we're going to look at some of the ramifications of that and what happened. That's going to take place throughout, obviously, the rest of the Bible, but most predominantly starting with the very next chapter, with chapter 4, addressing Cain and Abel. So we'll take a look at that. Again, chapters today, 4 through 7 are where we are continuing. So let's hop into it. Chapter 4 says, "Now Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have acquired a man from the Lord. And she bore again, this time her brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in the process of time came to pass that Cain brought an offering of fruit of the ground to the Lord. Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat. And the Lord respected Abel and his offering, but he did not respect Cain and his offering. And Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. So the Lord said to Cain, Why are you so angry? And why is your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin lies at the door, and its desire is for you, but you should rule over it. Now Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, Where is Abel, your brother? And he said, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. So now you are cursed from the earth, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you till the ground, it shall no longer yield strength to you. A fugitive and a vagabond you shall be upon this earth. And Cain said to the Lord, My punishment's greater than I can bear. Surely you have driven me out from this day from the face of the ground. I shall be hidden from your face. I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond on the earth. And it will happen that anyone who finds me will kill me. And the Lord said to him, Therefore, whoever kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord shall set a mark on Cain, lest anyone finding him should kill him. Then Cain went out from the presence of the Lord, and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch. And he built a city, and called the name of the city after the name of his son, Enoch. To Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begat Mehujael, and Mehujael begat Methuselah. Methuselah begat Lamech. Then Lamech took for himself 2 wives. The name of one was Adah, and the name of the second was Zillah. And Adah bore Jabal, and is father of those who dwell in tents and have livestock. His brother's name was Jabal, and he was the father of all those who played the harp and flute. As for Zillah, she bore Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every craftsman in bronze and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said to his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice. Wives of Lamech, listen to my speech. For I have killed a man for wounding me, even a young man for hurting me. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, then Lamech 77-fold. And Adam knew his wife again. And this time she bore a son and named him Seth. For God had appointed another seed for me instead of Abel, whom Cain had killed. And as for Seth, to him also a son was born, and he named him Enosh. The men began to call on the name of the Lord. Chapter 5. This is the book of the genealogy of Adam. In that day, the day that God created man, he made him in the likeness of God, and he created them male and female, and blessed them, and called them mankind, in that day that they were created. And Adam lived 130 years, and begot a son in his own likeness, after his image, and he named him Seth. After he begot Seth, the days of Adam were 800 years, and he had sons and daughters. So all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. Seth also lived for 105 years, and begot Enosh. After he begot Enosh, Seth lived another 807 years, and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. Enosh lived 90 years, and begot Cain. After he begot Cain, Enosh lived 815 years, and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and he died. Cain lived 70 years, and he begot Mehujael. Canaan lived 840 years, and he had sons and daughters. So all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. Mahulalel lived 65 years and begot Jared. After he begot Jared, Mahulalel lived 830 years, and he had sons and daughters. So all the days of Mahulalel were 895 years, and he died. Jared lived 162 years and begot Enosh. After he begot Enosh, Jared lived 800 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. Enosh lived 65 years and begot Methuselah. After he begot Methuselah, Enoch walked with God 300 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Enoch were 365 years. So Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Methuselah lived 187 years and begot Elimelech. After he begot Elimelech, Methuselah lived 782 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. Elimelech lived 182 years and had a son, and he called his son's name Noah, saying, "This one will comfort us concerning our work and the toil of our hands, because of the ground that the Lord has cursed." After he begot Noah, Elimelech lived 595 years, and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Elimelech were 777 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years old. And Noah begot Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Chapter 6. Now it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, for they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves, of all of whom they chose. And the Lord said, "My spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, and his days shall be 120 years. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, for when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. Then the Lord saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continuously. And the Lord was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. So the Lord said, I will destroy man, whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping thing and birds of the air, for I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. This is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was just a man, perfect in his generations. Noah walked with God, and Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth was also corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. So God looked upon the earth, and indeed it was corrupt, for all the flesh had corrupted the way of the earth. The Lord said to Noah, The end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood, and make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and outside with pitch. And this is how you shall make it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, and its width 50 cubits, its height 30 cubits. You shall make a window for the ark, and you shall finish it to a cubit from above. You shall set the door in the ark as the side. You shall make it with lower, second, and third decks. And behold, I, myself, am bringing floodwaters on the earth, to destroy from under heaven all flesh in which the breath of life, everything that is on the earth, shall die. But I'll establish my covenant with you, and you shall go into the ark, you and your sons and your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of every living thing, all flesh that you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark, keep them alive with you. Keep them alive with you, every kind of male and female. Of the birds after their kind, of animals after their kind, and of every creeping thing on the earth after its kind. 2 of every kind will come to you to keep them alive. And you shall take for yourself of all the food that is eaten, and you shall gather it to yourself, and it shall be food for you and for them. Thus Noah did according to all that God had commanded him, and so he did. Chapter 7. The Lord said to Noah, Come into the ark, you and all your household, because I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. You shall take with you 7 of each of every clean animal, a male and female, 2 of each animals that are unclean, and a male and female. Also, 7 of each of the birds of the air, male and female, to keep the species alive on the face of the earth. For after 7 more days I will cause it to rain on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. And I will destroy from the face of the earth all living things that I have made. And Noah did according to all the Lord had commanded him. Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters were on the earth. So Noah, his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives went into the ark because of the waters of the flood. Of clean animals, of animals that are unclean, of birds, and of everything that creeps on the earth, 2 by 2 they went into the ark to Noah, male and female, as God had commanded Noah. And it came to pass, after 7 days, that the waters of the flood were on the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, in the 17th day of the month, on that day, all the fountains of the grave deep were broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. On the very same day, Noah, Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Noah's wife, and their wives of his sons with them, entered the ark. They, and every beast of its kind after, and cattle after their kind, every creeping thing that creeps on the earth after its kind, and every bird after its kind, and every bird of every sort. And they all went into the ark to Noah, 2 by 2, of all the flesh in which is the very breath of life. So those that entered, male and female, of all flesh, went into it as God had commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. Now the flood was on the earth 40 days, and the waters increased and lifted up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. The waters prevailed and greatly increased on the earth, and the ark was moved about the surface of the waters, and the waters prevailed exceedingly on the earth, and all the high hills under the whole heaven were covered. The waters prevailed 15 cubits upward, and the mountains were covered. And all the flesh died that moved on the earth, and birds and cattle and beasts, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, and every man. All in whose nostrils was the breath of life, all that was on dry land, died. So he destroyed all living things which were on the face of the ground, both man and cattle, creeping thing and bird in the air. They were destroyed from the earth. Only Noah and those who were with him in the ark remained alive. And the waters prevailed on the earth 150 days. All right, so that's, again, chapters 4 through 7. That tells us a lot, I think, about God and about what he is willing to do when man goes outside of God's plan. And yet we'll continue to see great mercies that God has, and that continues on with 8. And we'll look at more of that tomorrow. So again, thank you for joining me on Simple Truth, and hope you guys have a great day.